All right, I have again did that and hmm. All right, we were talking about. I'm sorry, there was an electric blackout totally. So we were talking about logical, semi-physical, and physical data recovery. So we were discussing semi-physical data recovery when the electricity went off. So I'll resume that topic again and explain you. Let's assume that a data recovery house or you as a customer, you get a pen drive which is broken into two portions from the connector. So that's a repairable job. So it is little bit physical, little bit logical. So if a data recovery company that you provide that to is good in doing soldering and he has the skills for soldering, he is the only person who can do that job. Because if you give it a job, your device is not 100% healthy. It will not give data until unless it is worked upon, but it is not so physical that the price will increase quite a lot. Now let me give you an example. As far as we people are concerned, when we do semi-physical data recovery on a hard drive, does not matter what capacity is it, we'll charge 5,000 rupees. Now, if there is a board failure, if there is a motherboard logic board failure, typically in my area, a lot of people call that a plate. I don't know what do you mean by a bloody plate, but they call a plate. So if you have a problem with that, then that is a semi-physical job. I first have to repair that portion of the hard drive. Then the hard drive will start giving me data, and then I will be able to copy the data. So kindly understand that if your job is semi-physical, then you are actually going to pay more to your data recovery company because it is not a straightforward logical case. Now we move to uh, physical, but before I go to physical, there is one more aspect I like to touch, which is called firmware and virtual head technology. I use a term called virtual head technology. Not many people are well versed with the self created term on this, but I'll explain you this to the customers also. Let's assume you have a Western Digital USB hard drive which is not working. So you send it to a data recovery company like us. We are able to do a lot of things hardware wise into that device and get that into action. So might be that the software which was written by Western Digital encoded into the main logic board called the main logic board and the platters. This kind of software is called firmware. Might be that was having some corruption. So we solved that issue. Kindly remember that if you give such kind of a device to a data recovery house, until unless he does not have professional firmware manipulation tools costing around, I would say, 1.5, 3.5, 4.5, 7.5 lakh rupees, he cannot do firmware properly. Yes, there are certain softwares available which are way cheaper, but they are no way close to a professional data recovery tool. So until unless he doesn't have that, he cannot recover your firmware screwed up case. So that also you should remember. Now remember that when you give a hard drive to a company, might be it has two platters like this. There is a head on the platter here, there is a head on the platter here, there is a head on the platter here, and there is a head on the platter here. So we have, sorry, four heads. Let's assume one of the heads are not working. Any one head is not working. So the guy you give your product to should actually be in the position to close that head and get data out from the rest three heads to give you a partial data job because he's not changing the heads. So this also I will classify into uh, semi-physical. Pen drive example I've already given you. Hard drive example I've already given you. Now, if we talk about other stuff, what do I mean by other stuff? Other stuff is like uh, mobile phone. Let's assume that the mobile phone screen is broken. By just changing the screen, he's able to give you your data because then he can manipulate the options. That is also a semi-physical case. So now let's move to physical case. What is a physical data recovery case? Physical data recovery case is the most expensive uh, case that a customer can give to a data recovery house. Let me just set up my Facebook camera a little better. I think they are not able to see me properly, but I will try to set this up as much as I can. Just bear with me for some time. Oh God. All right, it is better over there too. So when we talk about physical data recovery job that you as a customer will give a data recovery house, kindly understand. Let's talk about hard drives first. In hard drives, when you say physical data recovery job, you as a customer should understand that you are supposed to shell out a lot of money for that. Why? Because until and unless the guy does not have, I'm talking specifically about hard drives. In this kind of a problem, if there's a physical problem, the hard drive is making noise like click, 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 or it is also, it might be just doing absolutely no noise, or might be creating the noise like mm, mm, which basically means that the hard drive's heads are stuck on the platters. So when you are talking about a physical job, don't give it to these computer wallas, don't give it to these bloody fool data recovery guys who don't have a clean room. They don't take your drive into a clean room. They don't open your drive in a clean room, because what they do is they literally take your drive and open up the top cover wherever they feel like, screwing everything, and the possibility of a proper data recovery house actually getting your drive back into action. So when you talk about physical data recovery, you can have a motor jammed jammed kind of a problem. You might have dropped the drive, and now the drive heads are not on the parking zone. They are on the platter, and they are not. They are stuck on the platter. There are some videos on YouTube where they show how you can unstuck a hard drive, but I don't agree to any of them. I will create a video game on them, and I will explain to all the audience, all the customers who are watching this video, why you should not do it yourself at home. Uh, or might be that the heads are bad now, and the heads. I'm not focusing on you guys on Facebook, but I've just put the camera so that you can also see if you are actually enjoying it right now. So So we, as a data recovery company, we are maintaining two clean rooms now. It was one earlier, but two of them were constructed the first time itself, and we are able to open up a donor drive, take the heads out in a clean environment, transfer it into this. This is something which only one company in our area was doing, that also not locally, but they were just receiving the drives and sending it to Gurgaon. And now let's talk about the same kind of physical problems. So physical problems, typically when you talk about, it can be around, let's talk about a 500 GB head replacement is around 16,800, 1 TB is around 21,600, motor jamming is around 16,200 for 1 terabyte, something like that. So when you as a customer have a case in your hand, First, please use your brain and figure it out whether it's a logical case or a semi physical case or a physical case. And then try, don't be very unreasonable. Indian customers are very unreasonable many times because what they talk absolutely makes no sense. If it's a physical case, can you explain it to me how I can do it for 750 bucks? Let's assume that you have a head which is clicking and it's a 1 terabyte hard drive. So, a 1 terabyte new hard drive, if I have to buy to take the heads out, it's going to be 4500 rupees. Now, explain it to me how the hell can we people do it for 750 rupees? So, please put it into your head depending on the classification, whether it is logical, semi physical, or physical, the rate is going to increase or decrease. So now let's talk about physical job work in pen drive, in mobile phone and mobile phone chip, which is micro SD, and also some other devices like camera cards. If you take a SD card and you have your wedding inside it, or you have some shoot inside it, and you are actually that card which you have, the SD card which you have, or the pen drive you have, is you put into the computer, you put it into a card reader, and it is not detected. So, do you as a customer sensibly even think that somebody can do it for 750, 1500, or 3000 bucks? It is impossible. This kind of recovery will require us to open your device, take the physical NAND memory out, put it into a specialized and expensive tool which is able to read that NAND flash memory. Then we reverse engineer what the controller had done, and then we are actually able to see your data. That requires a tool, brain, soldering skills, and whatnot. So, when you have a physical data recovery job in such kind of a device, be prepared that it's going to cost around 10,000 to 25,000 rupees when it is a physical job for NAND flash memory. And secondly, and on the last note, I would like to tell everybody in India that we people, I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about all the data recovery professional community you have in India, barring one company. I will not name that company, barring one company. Everybody else who runs a small or a mid sized data recovery professional house in India, uh, you guys have to be little bit more reasonable when you are actually giving us the job and negotiating the price, because prices can only be negotiated if we are overcharging. We do not overcharge. I can guarantee you that if you are in United States of America, you are in Europe, then the pricing, that the job that we do at the price we do, I think the Americans and the Europeans do it at double, triple, or four times the price. So we have to work double, triple, or four times more harder to buy the same tool which they are using to recover your data. So don't be unreasonable when we are giving you a quotation, because our quotations are not unreasonable. Yes, exceptions are always there. There will be certain people who are unreasonable in their quotations. So that is for you to judge that which data recovery guy you are going to give your job to. So this was my little rant on logical data recovery, semi-physical data recovery, and physical data recovery. I don't see anyone watching my broadcast there. Uh, I don't even know whether it is streaming properly onto um, YouTube, but if it is not, I have selected one option where it is recording onto my hard drive also. So I'll physically upload the uh, video over there. But anyway, This was one small video I really wanted to do since a long time. I hope you guys can record this video, show it to your customer who is trying to be unreasonable, and try to explain it to him what is logical, what is semi physical, and what is physical data recovery. So, this is all what I wanted to share today with my audience. So, that is all. So, see you, Facebook guys, and see you, YouTube guys. Let's roll the camera and then put an end to this video. All right, closing the YouTube stream too.